Hey, Prashanth.
Hello, hi Monica.
How's it?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I
So
hope you
let's
can
start.
hear me.
Sorry?
You can hear me, right?
Yes, yes. I can hear you. So let us start with your introduction.
Okay. So I'm Prashanth. I'm basically from Hyderabad. I'm currently working with Oracle in Bangalore since around 22 months now. I've joined in July 2021. This year's my CAT attempt went well, and I've scored 99.94 percentile, and I got calls from the top six institutes, ABC, Lucknow, Indore, and Kozhikode. And these are the only colleges I was targeting as well since the last attempt. Also, this is not my first attempt. And
Hmm.
yes, I got all the calls. I have given five of these interviews, not all. I've given ABC, Lucknow, and Kozhikode, and with yesterday's result, yes, I've converted all of them.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So please give a little brief about your profile
Mhm.
since your 12th and others.
Okay. So yeah, I did my 10th from Hyderabad itself in CBSE, and I had this 10 pointer in CBSE 10th grade. And 12th I've done from my home state Telangana board, and it was 98%. And I graduated in 2021 from NIT Warangal, and in engineering, electrical and electronics engineering. And I had a 9.03 CGPA, which is 90.3%.
Okay, okay. Is this your first attempt at CAT or have you given previously?
Yeah, this is not my first attempt. So I've given CAT twice before this. So this is my third attempt.
Hmm.
And the first attempt when I was in my final year of graduation, and it was kind of a practice attempt for me because I wanted to know what is CAT all about and what do they expect from the student and at what level are we currently. So that is very important to understand what we need to work on. So I believe that giving mocks is a separate thing and giving the final exam itself is a very different thing. So I did want to go to the exam center, give the exam, so that will give you the exam feel and that will let you know where you're lagging. And so that was my first attempt, 2020, 2020, CAT 2020. And last year was my first serious attempt, 2021. I mean, last before year. So that unfortunately did not go well. I was working, so I have started working, and it was not easy to manage work and study, definitely. And yeah, though I was working from home then, it did take a lot of time for me and could not focus on like what to study, material itna zyada hai, kisko refer
Hmm.
karna hai, how to
Hmm.
study and where to give mocks,
Yes.
which mocks to give and all. Though I have many friends who have been helping me, unfortunately that did not go well. The first time in my final year when I wrote CAT, it was 98.73 percentile, but I did not get any calls from the top six, lucky, because those six were the only colleges I was targeting since my first attempt. And anyways, though it was not a serious attempt for the first time, I still wanted to give an interview to get the feel of the interviewers. But unfortunately, it could not. And the second attempt was also not that good. I got 97 percentile. And yes, I did not get any of the top six calls. So this was the best of the three attempts. I think the best attempt I could ever give in 2022. And yes, this went very well.
Okay. So when you started preparing for CAT 22, how did you decide that you wanted to join EG?
Okay, so I definitely wanted to join a coaching institute. Not particularly about EG first time. I'll come to that. The reason being, as I mentioned, managing work along with study was very difficult because there are so many material in the internet which you can follow, and things never end. If I start, for example, अभी मैंने profit and loss topic पकड़ लिया, मैं YouTube खोला, एक वीडियो के बाद एक आता ही जाता है, and I can go on up to 100 and 200 videos. You don't know where to stop, you don't know where to start, and that is a problem. And lack of resource, that is one thing. And secondly, lack of guidance, मतलब किसके बाद क्या पढ़ना है, when to start, what to study and all. And lack of discipline as well, क्योंकि हर दिन compound effect करना पड़ता है, like you have to work every day. And CAT is an exam which demands a lot of discipline from you. You have to be consistent for giving CAT. रोज you have to study, you have to put in hours every day. So एक बात तो ये थी कि I have to join a coaching institute. That was there from the beginning. And I have talked to many people whom I know, because who my seniors as well. And one of my seniors and my mentor, he suggested me to join Elite's Grid because he was also a part of Elite's Grid, and he just passed out from FMS this year. So he suggested me to join EG, and I kind of found the timings and as all as well suiting for me because रात में 10 से 12 बजे की classes होते थे. But I'm working. But in last year July I came to Bangalore. Work from home खत्म हो गया. I'm going to office almost every day now, 3 to 4 days a week. So जाना आना driving the traffic and it tires you a lot. So रात के timings were suitable for me and weekends also we had classes at stretch. So it was very suitable for me and that is the reason I joined.
Okay. So when did you join? मतलब आपने कौन सा बैच ज्वाइन किया था ईजी का?
I joined batch 2, which was around March, April that time.
ठीक है. So then what happens in the start जब आप अप्रैल में कोचिंग लेते हैं? What happens initially?
Okay. So जो भी classes है, they are designed in such a way that you start off from the basics, either in quant or in LRDI or in VARC. So quant की particularly मैं बात करूँ क्योंकि we engineers are known to be good at math, so we are confident about quant, and that has been my strength in the last 2 attempts as well. And I have always been lagging in VARC in the last 2 attempts as well. So quant का जब शुरू हुआ था class एकदम basics के साथ, like literally from 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, that level Hanisa started off. And VARC as well, we put apart CAT completely. CAT का छोड़ो, CAT की बात नहीं चल रही है starting में. Completely from basics, know how to read a passage, know how to read a sentence and understand what that sentence is saying to you. My name is Prashanth, ये बात तो है, but how to break down each and every sentence to understand what it is inferring to. So we started out from that level. Sentence से passage तक आया, passage से paragraph से passage पूरा पढ़ने के लिए आए. Then we started off. And even before this, we did more than reading comprehension, we did critical reasoning. So trying to infer something which is not given directly in the passage. वहां से शुरू किए थे. And LRDA also we started with very very small puzzles, truth and lie वाले puzzles. एक बंदा सच बोलता है, एक बंदा झूठ बोलता है. That level to we went off to very high level puzzles which we often see in it. So this was the start, very low level से.
Okay. So first few months तो आपकी basics clear होते हैं, आपका course complete होता है, and then as you thought कि एक coaching ले लेंगे, timings will suit you, work life balance हो जाएगा, while working you will be able to study. तो exactly when you started, तो आपको क्या difference लगा?
Difference लगा in the sense?
I mean managing your studies along with working.
Yes, that is definitely not easy. I will never say that is easy. क्योंकि टाइम निकालना पड़ता है रोज, क्योंकि इफ यू आर राइटिंग कैट, आपको करना है कैट, यू वांट टू जॉइन अ गुड कॉलेज, यू हैव टू पुट इन एफर्ट्स, वो बात तो है. एंड हियर आई वुड नॉट बी वेरी सेल्फिश, आई हैव टू थैंक मेनी पीपल हु हैव बीन पार्ट ऑफ दिस जर्नी. मेरे रूममेट्स हो, मेरे फ्रेंड्स हो, मेरे क्लोज फ्रेंड्स, मेरे मेंटर्स हो, मेरे पेरेंट्स, फैमिली जो भी हो, दे सपोर्टेड मी ईच ऑफ दिस स्टेज. जब भी मैं प्रिपेयर कर रहा हूँ, एवरीवन यूज्ड टू मेक श्योर कि रात के 10 से 12 बजे मैं फ्री हूँ, मैं कुछ काम नहीं कर रहा हूँ. दे डोंट गिव मी एनी वर्क. मेरी दीदी थी, वो खाना पका देती थी 10 बजे से पहले ताकि मैं खा लूँ फिर क्लास जाऊँ. मेरे फ्रेंड्स भी थे, मैं गेमिंग कुछ भी करता हूँ. 10 to 12 दे डिड नॉट अलाउ मी टू प्ले. ऐसे दे हेल्प मी अ लॉट, एवरीवन हु हैज बीन पार्ट ऑफ दिस जर्नी. सो वो वर्क के बाद, ड्राइविंग करने के बाद, स्पेशली बैंगलोर के ट्रैफिक में घर आने के बाद बहुत ही टाइसम होता है, बट देन यू हैव टू पुट इन दोस एफर्ट्स. एंड पहले से आई थॉट कि थोड़ा डिसिप्लिन हो जाएगा क्योंकि क्लासेस जाना ही है. बट बाद में आफ्टर 1 month or 2 months वी एक्चुअली गॉट इंटरेस्टेड इन जॉइनिंग क्लासेस. मतलब सर भी ऐसे कॉन्सेप्ट पकड़ते थे एंड यू डोंट फील 2 घंटे जा रहे हैं. मतलब प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस पकड़ ले, कोई भी टॉपिक पकड़ ले, ही जस्ट गोज ऑन विद इट एंड 2 घंटे सुनने का मन करता है. क्वांट इज अ सब्जेक्ट वेयर यू हैव टू पुट अ लॉट ऑफ पेन ऑन पेपर, बट क्लास के समय वी यूज्ड टू ओनली लिसन. बाद में जब भी असाइनमेंट्स देते थे या जो भी मॉक्स लिखने पड़ते थे या टॉपिक टेस्ट लिखने, देन वी हैव टू पुट पेन ऑन पेपर. उससे पहले सर भी बोलते थे नोट्स मत बनाओ, नोट्स बनाने की जरूरत ही नहीं है क्योंकि वी डोंट नीड नोट्स. क्योंकि इतने बार फॉर्मूला हमने बोला था, इतने बार हमने फॉर्मूला खुद को बोला था, दूसरों को बोला था कि हमको वो रिमेम्बर हो गए, याद हो गए, पूरे पिक्चर आ गया. एंड वी यूज्ड टू हैव मेनी क्लासेस लाइक दिस. सैटरडे या संडे वी हैड लॉन्ग स्ट्रेच क्लासेस. At the end of the class, sir used to write all the formula which we discussed on the paper. We just used to take a screenshot, we saved it, and whenever you have time, just open that screenshot. You just go through all the formula, you'll just remember them. So this was one thing which I really liked in EG. They do everything for you. They do literally everything for you. You just have to put in your efforts. This I told to multiple people as well, my juniors as well, who asked me for a suggestion to join in institute. I suggested them EG because of this. You don't need to do anything else except study. They'll give you the material, what to study, they'll give you the assignments, what to write, they'll give you the topic test. एक एक टॉपिक के लिए अलग अलग टेस्ट होते थे, and then they'll give you the mocks. Okay, we used to buy EG mocks and IMS and other career launcher mocks as well. but which mock to write first and which mock to write second, that also used to change. We used to blindly follow whatever Hani sir used to give us the schedule. Even in the mocks, we had if you join IMS mocks, you'll have 1 to 20, 30 mocks. But we never wrote in that order. पहले होता था 13, फिर होता था 1, फिर होता था 5. We never questioned Hani sir, why is it like that? We just followed. And we could see that the level of toughness was increasing with one mock after the other. But what is important is how you're performing in the mocks. So this is how EG helped me so much in during my journey.
Okay, and if we talk about your personal preparation, since आपने बताया कि कौन तो आपका एक strong part था, and DLR and DRC में struggle था पहले भी आपने जो exams दिए उसमें, so classes के साथ साथ what did you do जिसकी वजह से आपका score increase हो पाया, आपकी क्या strategy भी थी उनके लिए?
Okay, so quant के लिए I did not have much difference in my strategy with my past years and this year because I knew I was good at few concepts. So जो concepts मुझे नहीं पता थे, I tried to focus more on them. And whatever concepts I knew from before, I just revised them. That was the only change when it comes to quant. But LRDI also, for me personally, I feel LRDI and quant are a little bit related to each other, and VRC is a kind of separate thing because LRDI and quant you can practice, but VARC needs a lot more practice. That's what I would say because you have to read more articles, you have to get more inferences, try to get familiar to reading. हमको रीडिंग उतना अच्छा पसंद नहीं लगता बट यू हैव टू डू इट यू हैव टू स्टार्ट रीडिंग थिंग्स यू हैव टू ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट द पैसेज इज ट्राइंग टू टेल यू दैट विल इवेंचुअली हेल्प यू नॉट ओनली इन कैट के बाद अभी हम एमबीए जाने पड़ेंगे बहुत सारे केसेस पढ़ने पड़ेंगे केस स्टडीज पढ़ने पड़ेंगे सो यू हैव टू गेट yourself close to reading and that is where Shazar sir helped us. He shared many articles with us, articles which of different genres. एक psychology हो गया, एक कुछ और भी हो गया, एक fiction हो गया, एक non-fiction हो गया. Many passages he shared with us, many articles which we obviously we could not understand what the passage is saying at the initial stages. कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा था. And in the classes starting में मैंने जैसे बोला था, we did not directly go to the RCs and solving. He used to share the screen. He used to open a random article from any website. I think I still remember this. एक फेडरल बैंक के बारे में एक आर्टिकल खुला था कुछ इन्फ्लेशन कुछ भी बोल रहा था वी डिड नॉट अंडरस्टैंड क्या चल रहा है बट सर टोल्ड अस एक सेंटेंस और दूसरे सेंटेंस हाउ कैन यू लिंक देम टुगेदर एंड ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इट इज सेइंग एंड देयर आर मेनी वर्ड्स इन अ सेंटेंस व्हिच यू might not understand but still you can understand what the sentence is saying to you. So we started at that level. So that was very helpful eventually in VRC. And people may or may not believe me in this, but मेरे around 30 mocks, 30, 40 mocks दिए होंगे. I'm including the sectional and the complete mocks before writing this CAT. And not even in a single mock, I scored more than 80 percentile in VRC. Not even in a single mock. And quant used to be my strength always. And I scored quant अच्छे से in all of the mocks mostly. And थोड़े ऐसे भी mocks है where my LRDI was the best. So ऐसे भी होता था. But completely opposite हो गया कि my final CAT attempt में my highest percentile came out to be in VRC. So it was the consistent efforts which helped. क्योंकि जब हम मॉक्स लिखते थे मेरे और हनी सर के चैट या मेरे और गौरव सर के चैट और मेरे और जो मैंने बोला था सीनियर मेरे मेंटर जो है उनके चैट आप खोल के देखोगे तो ऐसे ही मैसेज पड़े होंगे VRC नहीं हो रहा मेरे से मॉक्स में बहुत कम स्कोर आ रहा मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा क्या करना है एंड हनी सर का रिप्लाई हर बार एक ही होता था तुम स्कोर क्यों देख रहे हो यू डोंट नीड द स्कोर जो तुमने अटेम्प्ट किया और गलत किए उनको पकड़ो एंड ट्राई टू understand where you went wrong and don't try not to repeat the same mistake and that was the only thing which I did mocks में most important thing ये होता है कि तुमने कितने अच्छे किए तुमने कितने mistakes किए हो that is more important in mocks so that consistent support was also there from Hani sir
okay तो आपने मॉक्स के बारे में तो एक बता दिया कि 30-40 मॉक्स आपने दिए थे इंक्लूडिंग सेक्शनल बट यू नो जो लास्ट के फ्यू मंथ्स होते हैं अक्टूबर नवंबर उसमें थोड़ा स्ट्रेस भी होता है कैसे प्रिपरेशन करनी है यू हैव टू बी इन फुल स्विंग प्रिपरेशन को लेके तो आपकी क्या स्ट्रेटजी थी व्हाट वाज योर रूटीन लाइक इन दोस 2 months
you can ask any EG student what was their routine they'll reply you the same thing कि हमने बस schedule follow किया है हनी सर ने जो भी दिया क्योंकि he used to give us a mock किस डेट किस टाइम पे कौन सा मॉक देना है एंड किस डेट किस टाइम पे कौन सा मॉक का डिस्कशन हो रहा है एंड यस आई डिड स्किप अ फ्यू मॉक्स बीच में नहीं हो रहा था काम की वजह से जो भी हो but I made sure I cleared those backlogs and classes के recordings भी available थे so even if you missed a mocks discussion you can just go back and have a look But
Hmm.
एक बात तो I made sure कि I did not attend any mock discussion without giving that mock because
Hmm.
purpose ही defeat हो जाता है.
Hmm.
So there were multiple mocks. मेरे पास एक बुक भी है और ढूंढ ढूंढ सकता हूँ. मैंने जो एक टेबल बनाया था कि कौन से डेट पे कौन सा मॉक देना था, मैंने किस डेट पे वो एक्चुअली दिया था, और डिड आई नॉट सी द रिकॉर्डिंग, और कितने गलत हुए थे, कौन से कॉन्सेप्ट में गलत हुए थे. आई हैव अ फुल टेबल विथ मी ओवर द लास्ट जो 2 महीने के बाद आप कर रहे हो दैट.
हाँ.
एंड यस, हनी सर ऑल्सो टोल्ड अस कि लास्ट 2 महीने का टाइम जो है, दैट इज द ओनली टाइम यू हैव टू गिव मार्क्स. उससे पहले देना ही नहीं है. इफ यू वांट यू कैन गिव एनी टॉपिक टेस्ट या सेक्शनल भी दे सकते हो, इट इज नॉट सजेस्टेड बट दे सकते हो. बट कंप्लीट मार्क्स आर टू बी गिवन ओनली क्लोजर टू द एग्जाम, दूर से नहीं. Up,
Hmm.
if students who are preparing for CAT 2023 also, they should not start writing mocks blindly right now. This is a preparation phase. They have to start writing mocks only when it is meant to be written.
ठीक है. So if we talk about your D-Day, how was that for you?
Okay, so yes, I was in the third session, which is evening session. But yes, I would say for anyone giving CAT or for any exam in that matter, but especially for CAT, two of them go line in line. एक होता है how strong are you with your concept, and second, how is your exam temperament. ये बहुत मैटर करता है because I know many students who scored really well in mocks, but they could not control their nerves on the final day. That is very important because I had past experience with CAT. मैंने 2 बार लिखा था. I at least gauged कैसे करना है फाइनल एग्जाम में. दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. एंड पीपल हु आर गिविंग मॉक्स एज वेल, मैंने तो सारे मॉक्स घर से ही दिए थे, बट आई वुड सजेस्ट पीपल टू गो टू द सेंटर एंड गिव 1 or 2 मॉक्स बिकॉज यू हैव टू गेट यूज टू दैट. फाइनल एग्जाम में इतने सारे लोग होते हैं वहां पे, इतना सिक्योरिटी चेक एंड ऑल, बिकॉज एग्जाम के एक या 1 to 1.5 hour before you have to report there, you have all the security checks happening and all, so you have to keep yourself calm and you have to focus on the exam. So that is very important. So coming to my day, so I was actually lucky that I fell in session 3 because session 1 वालों को तो shock आ गया था कि VARC में they did not have odd man out and suddenly we had this fill in the blank type of questions coming.
Yeah.
So yeah, that does not affect you a lot because you are prepared what you are prepared with. But जितने भी सारे mocks हमने लिखे थे, they had at least 1 or 2 odd man out, and you just are seeing a paper without any odd man out. So it does come as a surprise to you because I was in the third session. At least I had a clue of what is coming ahead of me. So many things are there which you can't control. Exam के दौरान पेपर कैसा आएगा, टफ आएगा, आसान आएगा, you can't control. So exam temperament is a really really important thing. And here is where Shah sir help also come in because during my mock preparation जो भी हम लिख रहे थे, we had EG mocks as well, जिसमें Shah sir wanted it tested our exam temperament. एक मॉक था आई रिमेम्बर कि उसमें we generally have 24 questions in VARC, out of which 8 are VA and 16 are RC, 4 into 4 generally. I remember there was a mock, out of 24, he gave 20 or 21 in RCs and only 3 in verbal ability. And that came as a surprise to me. The reason being, in VARC, VA was particularly my strength generally because I could rule out the options. Because sir taught us that because VA was kind of quantum because you had 4 options. You should not find the correct answer. You have to eliminate the wrong answers mostly in VARC. So VA was my strength in all the mocks most probably. But when that mock came to me, it hit to me as a surprise. So that is when I understand. And Shahzad sir also told me, you don't stick to only one strategy while writing your mocks. So अलग-अलग mocks में अलग-अलग strategy करना रहता है. I tried starting with VA and then RC. I tried starting with RC and then VA. I tried RC के 2 करो, VA करो, फिर RC में आ जाओ. I tried all of these. I tried different combinations. And finally, I could understand paper के toughness के gauge करके how to attempt the paper. So that in that way, Shahzad sir helped in that matter. So coming to the final day, at least I knew this fill in the blanks के questions आ रहे थे. So generally I did used to start with VA and then go to RC. This is what I tried this time. But when I saw fill the blanks, I felt कि यार ये थोड़े different लग रहे हैं, difficult नहीं, different लग रहे हैं. So let us not waste time on this. Let us go to RCs and come back to this. I went to RCs and when I started solving those RCs, I did not realize मैंने time ज़्यादा देखा नहीं. I was just trying to solve. I kept on answering these questions and just after answering all, I just saw कि मैंने 16 आंसर कर दिए. This was the highest in all my mocks combined. मैंने जितने भी mocks लिखे, I never attempted 16-17 questions in VRC anytime. So 16 अगर सारे correct हो गए तो 16 3 is 48. So that is a really really great score in VRC. I knew that. So या तो पेपर बहुत easy है या तो मैंने बहुत सारी गलतियां कर दी. ये तो I understood at that point of time. So now what I started is कि 16 जो आंसर की थी पहले मुझे, आई रिमेम्बर 10 या 12 मिनट्स बाकी थे, आई स्टिल हैड 1 RC लेफ्ट, सो आई हैड एन ऑप्शन टू अटेम्प्ट दैट RC, और आई हैड एन ऑप्शन टू लुक एट ऑल दोस क्वेश्चंस व्हिच आई हैव अटेम्प्टेड वंस. सो मैंने क्या किया, जल्दी जल्दी कुछ 5 मिनट में जो भी मैंने आंसर किया था देख लिया, बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली आई डिड नॉट फाइंड एनीथिंग व्हिच आई वांटेड टू करेक्ट. मैंने सोचा कि हाँ मुझे ये करेक्ट आंसर लगा तो लगा ही होगा, सो लेट दैट बी, एंड देन आई जस्ट वेंट ऑन. I think I attempted 18 questions overall in that. So 17 were correct, one was wrong. So I got 50 marks in the ARC. So that I can't even believe that happened. अभी तक I'm not able to digest क्योंकि VRC was always my weakest part, but eventually that gave me the highest marks, 99.76 in that section. So that was really great section. But at that point of time, I was just happy कि यार ये section अच्छा है. And then came LRDA. LRDA, we had another surprise this time. We had 4 puzzles of 5 questions each. So generally we had 4, 4, 6, 6 generally till CAT 2021. So that used to give us an advantage. If you have 4 puzzles and all of them are equally tough, we used to attempt the 6 question wala, because there is a chance that you get it correct, you have more number of questions correct. But this time we did not have that. We have just 5, 5, 5, 5. Jo karne karo. So I just opened the question paper. So I had to choose which set I want to start first, because LRDI ka khel wahi hai. You choose the right question, you are going in. You choose the wrong question, you're wasting your time there. So I realized open karti the first set I did not want to solve, because to read the whole question, it took me 3 times scrolling the whole question paper. So it was such a big question. So I did not want to attempt it clearly. So there were 3 more puzzles. I wanted to attempt any one of them. So एक question मुझे थोड़ा easy लगा, so I started off with that. But unfortunately, I spent 20 minutes and did not get even one answer. I spent 20, that is 40 में 50% time गया. I did not answer even one question. So I have 20 minutes left. I have 20 questions left in LRDA. I did not answer a single question. So यहीं पे you have to keep yourself calm. अगर पेपर तुम्हें टफ है तो पेपर सबको टफ है. You have to digest that fact. You have to try to answer whatever questions you can. So then I had this another puzzle which I tried, and 10 minutes में वो सारा puzzle हो गया. So I had 10 minutes left. I had answered only 5 questions. So I had now one option: the fourth puzzle which I didn't read, or the second puzzle which I read for 20 minutes but I couldn't do. So I gave the benefit of doubt कि fourth question को चला जाऊंगा, because 20 minutes I wasted. If I start that again, I'll waste more 20 minutes, more 10 minutes. Nothing's going to. So I went to the fourth puzzle, and fortunately I could solve that. So ये पांच वो पांच 10 question हो गए थे, and the puzzle which I've left, in that there was one question with 3 impossible answers. So this is where Hani sir also comes in, because Garo sir, because there are many mocks in which he gave very very tough questions which we can't answer, but he gave options which were very easy to eliminate. There was one puzzle I still remember. उसमें puzzle को पढ़ना जरूरी भी नहीं था. You can just read the options and answer everything as a puzzle, because he wanted us to solve these puzzles because we should know how to eliminate the options as well. So I answered that one. Overall, I answered 11 questions. I got 10 correct, I guess. So 10 and -1, I got 29 in RDA. But I thought only solving 2 puzzles would be problematic. But बाद में I realized that was also a very good score, क्योंकि paper बहुत ही ज़्यादा tough था, and I got 99.52 in LRDA. This was with LRDA. And then quant ka to regular ही है. So quant, there was no surprises, because quant is the only section where you can't have any surprises. The reason being, you have around 22 questions and no question is related to other. You don't have a passage और उसके पीछे 4 questions ऐसे नहीं होते. So each question is independent. So you have 22 chances of hitting the bullseye. So that is the main advantage which I feel is in there in quant. VRC में भी एक passage के 4 questions होते हैं, LRDA में भी एक puzzle के 4 questions होते हैं. But you have 22 chances here. So the only cyclic approach जो हम regularly mocks में करता है, या even before joining EG, which I used to do, I did the same here. कि just answer whatever you have, whatever you can answer. एक के बाद एक, just I kept on answering, and after having the time left, you come back to the whatever questions you left. So this has been my standard approach in quant every day. So I think I answered 14, but I got 2 wrong, and both of them were non-integer. I mean, they were not MCQ, so I did not have any negative. So that was
theta
36.
questions.
Yeah, theta questions. So 12 threes are 36 I got. So 50, 29, 36, I scored 115 in total. So looking at that score itself, I was shocked, क्योंकि मेरा हर बार ऐसा होता कि 36, 29, 50 होता था. So quant used to be my strength, but this came as a surprise for me as well.
तो मतलब quants और VRC दोनों के marks swap हो गए.
Swap हो गया. But still, yeah, that all goes for good. And in quant, I scored 99.42. uh,
Okay.
तीनों सेक्शन में कौन लीस्ट था फॉर माय सरप्राइज बट यस एवरीथिंग वर्क वेल टोटल परसेंटाइल तो काफी अच्छा
हाँ.
so this was my D-Day. But yes, just coming out of the exam, I did not know anything of this, obviously. So I just was discussing with my friends, and even they felt the paper was tough, particularly LRDA, जो मैंने बोला था. Because even session 2 and session 1 people told the same. LRDA is a little bit tough because you can't choose a 6 set question. You have to go for a 5 set. And if you waste time on one set, it is gone. So choosing the correct question in the exam is something which is very, very important. And that comes with a lot of practice in mocks. And that is where EG has really helped me a lot. So 115 was my total score and scaled score भी उतना ही था 115.96 बहुत difference नहीं था and yes that was about the D-Day.
ठीक है. सो यूजुअली व्हाट हैपेंस, 100 मार्क्स तक का स्कोर जो है वो लोगों को लगता है अचीवेबल है, बट 100 के ऊपर एक फाइट चालू हो जाती है बिकॉज 1 और 2 मार्क्स के ऊपर बहुत मेजर डिफरेंस आ जाता है परसेंटाइल में. एंड मेनी पीपल लाइक यू, एज यू सेड, लास्ट ईयर भी आपने स्कोर किया था, इट वाज अराउंड 98 और 97, बट वो 99 प्लस लाना मुश्किल हो जाता है. सो व्हाट वुड यू सजेस्ट कि क्या करना चाहिए अगर उससे ऊपर स्कोर?
I would say कुछ अलग नहीं करने का जरूरत है. Like whatever you're doing, do it better. That is the only suggestion I have because CAT is something which you have to do with consistent efforts, definitely. And the reason I joined EG is to push my 97, 98 to 99 plus. And I never imagined सपने में भी कि 99.9 पार हो जाएगा. This was totally new to me. But yes, that was a result of all the efforts we put in, right?
Yes.
So कुछ खास difference नहीं होना चाहिए, but definitely जो भी I would suggest people to join EG definitely. जो मेरे juniors also they're asking me. I told them EG is something which you can go for without any doubt because they do everything for you. You have to just study. So nothing different, only just put in your efforts.
Okay. And now that you've given your exam, उसके बाद आपके पास calls भी आ गए. So how did you start preparing for your interviews?
Okay, so for interviews, I mostly prepared on myself, and I took help of my sister, who was also an IIM graduate, and also my mentor, as I told, my senior, and few other friends and people helped me out. So because I knew people who are studying in the top IIMs right now, and FMS also my senior, so they helped me a lot in preparing for my interviews. And interviews ke to, if you broadly divide things, you have three things, right? One is your work experience because I'm working right now. I'm not a fresher. So work experience related jitna bhi ho sakta hai. So it's not like what your company, only about what you do in your company. It's like what you do, what your team does, what your organization does, and what your company as a whole does. And how is it contributing to the economy or however it is related. So if you're talking about anything related to your job, make sure you know everything about every word you utter. क्योंकि ऐसे इंटरव्यूज के एक्सपीरियंस हुए थे जिसमें आई टोल्ड कि माय टीम वर्क्स ऑन दिस एंड दिस एंड वी मोस्टली सर्व अमेरिकन क्लाइंट्स सो दे स्टार्टेड आस्किंग मी क्वेश्चंस अबाउट अमेरिकन इकोनॉमी so you have to be very careful about what you speak in the interviews. So you have to have an idea about what is happening around you uh, completely. So this is about work experience. And secondly, you have your academics because I am kind of a fresher. मतलब 2 साल ही होते graduation करके. So you can expect interviewers asking questions about your academics as well because I was an electrical and electronics engineer. I had given 5 interviews, as I mentioned, like 6 including CAP, but 5 interviews which I went and gave. CAP was online. So yes, Pancho interview में there was not even a single interview where I was not asked anything about electrical engineering. Her interview में they asked me about something about electrical engineering, and this is the second. And the third would be general affairs, current affairs, general knowledge, जो भी चल रहा है. Like I'm living in Bangalore right now, so Bangalore elections आ रहे हैं अभी. Bangalore के बारे में कुछ जानो. Bangalore में तुम कहाँ रह रहे हो? Who's leading? I mean, who's ruling? Which party is ruling in Bangalore? I mean, Karnataka right now. And I'm from Hyderabad, so Telangana के बारे में थोड़ा. And what is the current affairs? Because मेरे Lucknow and Kozhikode interviews were in March, mid-March, around that time. So that was the time when we had this budget coming out. So you have to have an idea about budget. Economy के बारे में जानो, inflation कितना चल रहा है, budget में what is new this time, capital expenditure raise किया है, कितना raise किया है, all this. So I had taken help from many people over here, my mentors as well. So yes, you have these three. I would say will be the broadly you can divide the interviewers.
Okay. And if we talk about your actual experience in interview, from your first interview to the last interview, we would like to know your experience at length, whatever you can think of.
Okay. So I was again lucky in this matter. So I had interviews lined up in an order which is very suitable for me. I had CAP first because it was mostly like a practice round for me, being honest. So it was online. So I gave it from Bangalore only, where I was working. But then all the other interviews mostly were in Hyderabad, because when I applied for CAT, I was still working from home. So I filled in Hyderabad as my location. So I had to go home for a couple of weeks for giving all my
Mm.
interviews. So,
Mm.
and the order was like this: Lucknow, Kozhikode, and then ABC. So it was increasing order of toughness, or increasing order of the colleges I wanted to join. So I had Lucknow first. So Lucknow was very short interview. It was around 8 or 10 minutes hardly. So there they did not go into depth about anything, because, as I mentioned, it was only a 10-minute interview. So at the top of my head, what I can think of is them asking me about why I want to join MBA, and because my SOP mentioned whatever my SOP mentioned. And yes, all the interviews, the three categories I mentioned, and the fourth would be whatever you write in your SOP. So it is genuinely suggested कि जो भी SOP में लिख रहा हो, write it according to you, and write it on your own. किसी से लिखवाना मत. And SOP, you should be completely honest. Why actually do you want to do an MBA? मुझे business सीखना है, मुझे ये करना है, मुझे वो करना है. I want to be a leader in this. I want to join a private equity, या जो भी करना है. So you have to be completely honest there, because you're speaking your heart out, and that is what people expect you to do in the interview as well. So interview is nothing but people wanting to know you better. People say interviews are rejecting round, but I would say interviews are selecting round, because they are choosing why they want to select you. They're not trying to reject you, they're trying to select you. You should give them a better reason why they should select you. So you should be sure of what you're speaking, and मुझे ये करना है, मुझे वो करना है. And that is what SOP is basically.
Mm.
So SOP के around, तुम्हारे work experience के around, your academics के around revolve होता जाता है interview. And Lucknow, I specifically remember, it was not much into my acads or work experience as well. It is not, nor the current affairs and general knowledge. It was mostly revolving around my SOP. Why do you want to join an MBA? Why do you want to join our college? What do you know about IIM Lucknow? And I did mention about I want to be a decision maker, better decision maker than I'm right now. So the interview came back asking, saying that, so what do you think about your decision making skills right now? Are you a good decision maker right now? I told, yes, I am currently, jitna bhi main hu, I think I'm a good decision maker. So he gave me a case. You have offers from Ahmedabad, Bangalore, and Lucknow. Which will you choose? How will you take a decision? So it is an honest conversation between you and the interviewer. So it should go like that. So this was what happened in Lucknow. Nothing into depth into that. And then I had my IIM Kozhikode, is where I was very much focused on the current affairs and my academics as well. And I remember in three of the interviews, in fact, four of the interviews, I was asked the difference between electrical and electronics engineering. What is electrical and what is electronics? What is the difference between them? So बहुत ही basic चीजें पूछते हैं. And similar to CAT, the interviewers also do not expect you to answer each and every question. That is a wrong thing. No one will know everything. That is for sure. So interview में, it is not how many answers you give or how many answers you don't give. It is mostly about how well you give those answers. So there are, I think, सारे interviews में there should be at least 20 to 30 or more than 30% of questions which I did not answer. I told I just don't know, because they were asking me those questions which I don't know. But you should be calm in the interview like you were calm in the CAT as well. Because what you know, you have to be very strong about from the fundamentals itself. So Kozhikode में they did ask me about electrical, electronic, air conditioner के बारे में. Yes, a little bit of electrical engineering. And then the second half of the interview completely went on to current affairs, about the budget, about the economy right now, about free trade agreements between countries and all.
Yeah.
So this was about Kozhikode. And then I had the Ahmedabad, and strangely, Ahmedabad was my best interview, I would say, because even in Ahmedabad, the interview starting they focused on my academics, a little bit on uh, electrical electronics engineering, and then uses of static electricity, questions like this. I was not able to answer every question of that, honestly. So whatever I could, I answered it very well. And then I was asked about my work experience as well, what my team does, what my responsibility was in my team, and how did my work contribute to the betterment of the company and the economy in turn. And then the second half of interview was completely on economics and uh, the current scenario of India. So a current economy scenario of India. So it is mostly either driven by you or driven by the interviewers, and you have to try to control and keep the interview in your hand and drive it wherever you want, and craft the answers in such a way. So I think the interviewer asked me about work experience, and then how it is affecting the economy. I just told this is what we do and this is how it is helping. But he asked me, but whatever you're doing is for another company, which is a multinational company. It is not situated here. It is situated in the US. So how is it helping our Indian economy? So that is where you have to pull them back to India, saying that जो भी हम कर रहे हैं, the service sector in India also needs to grow up. The agriculture sector is like this. The service sector is like this. We have to increase this. We have to try to generate more revenue here. So when you say these words to them, you are trying to attract the interviewer to the concepts which you know and which you want to talk about. So that is how you try to control the interview, and that is what happened in Ahmedabad as well. And then I had Bangalore interview, and Bangalore was the toughest interview I had. So it was a very grilling interview experience for Bangalore, because I remember the panelists saying that all the answers which I gave are wrong. So whatever answer I gave, they told, no, this is not correct. No, you have no idea about this. So they do try to put pressure on you, try to grill you in some instances. But yes, people do say that if it is a grilling interview, they are trying to select you. But all this does not come to mind when you're sitting in the front of the interviewer, because they're trying to say that you're answering wrong, you don't know about this, the numbers you're stating are wrong. A Bangalore interview happened in the first week of April. So they did ask me about what current affairs are you following. I mentioned budget, and the interviewer panelist came back saying me that budget is very old topic. Why are you catching budget? So tell us this topic. So even if they try to put pressure on you, you have to try to remain calm and know
Yeah.
and tell what you know, because there is no possibility if you don't know about something, you don't know about it. You can't do magic in the interview.
Yeah.
So you have to be calm in the interview. You have to try to answer whatever you can. This has happened in Bangalore. Bangalore interview was very pressuring. I could not answer many of the questions. But then when I come out, I do remember that whatever topics they touched on, I was able to answer them. Not, if not completely, at least whatever I know. So that is important. You have to share whatever information you have with you, and you have to make sure you let them know that you're really interested in joining that college, and you're really interested in that is the reason you have put in so much of hard work for CAT and the interviews, and you really want that seat. So they should be able to see that. So that is what happened in Bangalore. And
Mm.
after all these interviews, I came back to Bangalore, and my last interview was Calcutta, which happened over here. So in Calcutta interview, again, it was mostly about work experience. I think this was similar to many people. I think many people from EG also shared the similar experience. Calcutta was focusing more on my work experience. So what my team does. Do I like my office work, or do I like work from home? Why do you like hybrid work? So what does hybrid work give to the company? What is the advantage of having hybrid work? When I mentioned that hybrid work gives employee satisfaction, so they came back asking, why is employee satisfaction important to a company? So you should be able to justify whatever you're saying in the interview. So you have to be sure about what you're talking, and you can expect questions coming back to you on whatever you say. So interview ko handle karna is not an easy thing. That comes with practice as well. So I have given few mock interviews to different people as well. So there I learned that if you are answering something, you should be sure of that, because you are leaving such keywords to them and trying to attract them to ask more questions on that. So you should be careful there, because this discussion would never have come in Calcutta interview about work from home if I did not ask it, because they did ask me where you're working. I told in Oracle. So how is your work and all? They did ask me about how is your work, what is your day-to-day scenario. There I mentioned that I work in a hybrid mode. I work 3 days in office and 2 days, or 4 days in office and 1 day at home. And that is where the question came back to me. What do you prefer out of these three modes? Work from office, work from home, or hybrid work? So you should be thorough, and you should be expecting questions in surprise. But you should be sure of whatever you're saying in it. And yeah, this was the last interview. And then yes, I did have indoor interview lined up, but I could not attend because I had to go to FMS interview in Delhi. So I did give FMS interview as well in the last, but I did not convert the FMS interview.
Very beautifully, you have explained your journey till CAT, and with the interview experience as well. Whatever questions I had in mind, and I'm sure जो भी हमें देख रहे हैं, all the aspirants they have in mind, you have thoroughly answered each and everything. And eventually, if I ask you for one piece of advice you'd like to tell them, with such a high score, you have cleared maximum of your interviews, you have converted so many colleges. So what would you like to tell them?
I think I would share one quote. This I shared with Hani sir as well after my Ahmedabad result came up. So this is that. This is by my icon, Mahendra Singh Dhoni. He always believed that the process is more important than the results. This is the quote I shared with Hani sir as well when my Ahmedabad result came out. Sir, because I have never seen any other person following this quote more than Mahendra Singh Dhoni. It is Hani sir, because the constant support he gave me during the interviews as well and during the preparation for CAT as well. हर मॉक के बाद my message used to go to Honey sir VRC नहीं हो रहा है, sir VRC में कम स्कोर आ रहा है. The only thing which he replied was score matter नहीं करता है. The only thing which matters is you are not repeating the same mistake which you already did. If you repeated a mistake which you did, then you're wrong. Don't do that. But try to make sure your focus is only on the process and not in the result. And that is what I did. क्योंकि पहले 3-4 मॉक के बाद वो नहीं हुआ, क्योंकि आफ्टर फर्स्ट 3-4 मॉक्स यू स्टार्ट गोइंग लो, यार VRC नहीं हो रहा है बिकॉज दिस इज माय थर्ड कैट अटेम्प्ट, व्हाट एम आई इवन डूइंग. आई गेव सो मच ऑफ प्रिपरेशन. मैं मार्च से शुरू किया, दिस इज ऑलमोस्ट अक्टूबर, this many months I've prepared, my VRC is not getting any better, what should I do? So you go low, but then Hani sir helped us a lot there. He made sure that our morale is always up. And even in the classes जब भी regular discussion होता है, it is not completely क्वांट चल रहा है तो 2 घंटे पकड़ के क्वांट पढ़ाओ लोगों को, ऐसे नहीं होता है. He even in मतलब he used to discuss few things and then in बीच में 5 minutes he used to say ये करो वो करो, try to make sure you're putting in extra work, try to make sure you're starting to prepare for your interviews as well. So those little things matter a lot, those little guidance matters a lot. So yes, any junior, any aspirant joining and any aspirant trying to write that, only suggestion would be focus on the process. That is the only thing which matters. Try to compound everything which you do, and finally you will have your result, and you should be able to join the dream college which you are wanting to join.
Yes. And if I extract one more thing out of your journey, whatever you have explained, इतने सारे curveballs होते हैं आपकी preparation में, जैसे CAT आ गया, it was not up to what everybody was thinking of. And at the time of interviews as well, कुछ भी question आ सकता है, कहीं से भी आ जाता है. But जैसे आपने अपना काम रखा, you have been so mindful towards answering the questions, being peaceful, being calm when you're giving the exam also, devising your strategy at that point of time. I think वो भी बहुत ज़्यादा आपको help किया है. That is also one very important thing.
Yes, definitely. You have to be calm at the different stages of your prep and the final D-day of interview or the final D-day of the CAT as well. And this is where a lot of people help me, my friends, my roommates, my family, and Hari sir as well, and my mentors. Everyone try to make me calm and help me so much in the whole preparation journey. And yeah, I can never be more thankful to them. क्योंकि जितना हम control करते हैं, you have to have the same environment around you. If I'm panicking and people around me also start to panic, there is nothing coming out of it. If they help you to try to make you keep calm, एक मॉक के बाद कुछ नहीं होगा, next mock you'll do better. That the support, the morale which you get from others, that is very important. And yes, as you mentioned, keeping calm and keeping the temperament is very important, especially during CAT, because it is such a competitive exam. You have to be calm. The paper may come completely out of the planet, but then it is out of the planet for all the aspirants which are writing. So you should be sure of that, and you should give whatever the best you can.
Right. Very well explained. And we are so thankful and grateful that you took out time and you explained about your journey. I'm sure बहुत लोगों को help मिलेगी आपकी interview से, and they will be, very thankful to you for coming out here and explaining your journey. You will really be an inspiration to a lot of people out there. We wish you all the very best for your journey. And
thank you so much.
Have a good time.
Thank you, Monica.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.